podcast.
Welcome in, you cheap beggars, to Discount, the bargain bin gaming podcast hosted by three people so cheap we would be the distant memory of Xbox Live Gold in a couple of months.
Oh,
I know.
Rip.
Rip. Rip. F.
F's in chat.
F's in chat. F's in chat.
White love emoji.
Yeah.
I am one of your hosts. I am Josh. I'm plugging into player 2.
I'm Darren. Hello. And also facing a severe nerf as a result of the Diablo patch.
Am I? It's Cerys. Hi.
Yeah, so it's Josh, Darren, and Am I?
Yes.
Name change.
Hi.
Hi.
I love that yes and energy. not. Is it yes, but why? I'll agree to it, but you must explain your actions.
I'm down.
Kara's
I just don't know why I have it.
Kara's employing the scientific method in her intro.
It's because you play as D.Va all the time in Overwatch, so you shout nerf this, and we just assumed you were nerfed.
Yeah.
That is true. That's fair. She's my bitch.
What? I don't think that's a normal term, is it? For like saying that you really like her. That's like,
Yeah, she's my bitch.
Can I get a sticker
It's
in like...
That's here in DMs. You can use bitch in so many ways.
Can I get the sticker of like a back of a car
That's
window that
my
says
bitch.
Diva is my bitch?
That's my bitch.
so when I walk down and go, is that your wife? I can go, no, that's my bitch. Or should I go?
Absolutely fucking not.
Or should I go? Yes, that's my bitch.
It's a tier in DMs.
Sorry, is that what you're querying?
Term of endearment between women. You cannot call me a
Yes, but why is that my bitch?
Yes, but why is that my bitch? We're yes-wying.
Yes.
But yeah, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Discount. This is one of our monthly free plays and freebies episode where we talk about all things July. So that's all things happen news-wise, things we played.
Just the month of July generally.
All things July, yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Shout out to the 7th month.
Yeah.
Tell me why I thought you were going to say that we were talking about all things jollof, as in the rice.
Yes, we're talking about all things Jollof.
We are a rice
Where
podcast.
are we going with this? I forgot it was July for a second, I think.
I mean,
It is Jollof, though.
It is jollof.
we're actually Wok Count, and we just talk about all things we can put in a wok, and jollof rice is number one.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went for wok first. I don't know why that was the thing I replaced, but that's what we did. But yeah, we're going to be talking about all things happening in July. How's your July's going? Good? I mean, it's miserable here,
It is
isn't
a
it?
miserable time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sick of the rain.
Oh, it's
I'm
less of a
so
summer.
sick of the
It's
rain.
more of a bummer.
Oh my god, no, we went through that really lovely patch where we had like 4 weeks of just blazing sunshine.
April was lovely.
We have different definitions of lovely.
And this is just, I'm such a like sun baby, and this is so depressing.
Which is why she was born in September.
Yeah.
Sun baby.
September is kind of sunny.
Not in Wales.
It's been okay.
We haven't got there yet.
It's the pattern where I leave school and it rains for 6 weeks, and then I go back and it's all right for a while.
Yeah, I like it when you go back to it.
Yeah, me too. I like it when I go back.
And we're away from each other just for a
Yeah.
little bit longer.
Yeah.
No, I go honest, it's just gone miserable. I mean, I thought it was gonna be nice. It wasn't too bad last weekend, but you know, it's just on and off. But yeah, anything else? Anything else you want
I
to talk
wanted
about?
to buy all the July games and not had the money to buy any of them. It's
Yeah,
sad.
July has been a rough time for buying games. I haven't really found, mind you, I haven't found a lot of July games I want. I know Pikmin 4 was big up there for
I
you.
wanted
Yeah.
Pikmin. I wanted to pick up the 2 big releases. No, the 1 big release of June. I already bought one of them.
Which was Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I wanted to buy Final Fantasy
Yeah.
16 and just couldn't find the money for that either.
There's a few things floating around. I mean, now's the time to buy Gollum. It looks like. So
Yeah.
at least it's £10 on Amazon.
£10. But August is games month.
August
Fuck it.
August is looking painful because there's a lot of games coming out in August I want. But that's for next month. We'll see if I actually get any of those. We'll talk about that at the end of the podcast, this episode, work out what we actually are looking forward to next month.
If you're enjoying on these Freebies episodes where we talk about the new releases,
Don't worry.
Sorry.
Not happening this
Very sorry this month.
this month has been a mess. But yeah, we rather than us pining over, I wish we could have bought more games, should we have a look at what they've been saying in the gaming world and what news has been happening?
Let's do it.
I'm not going to talk about... I will briefly mention, actually, I wasn't going to talk about it, but Microsoft and Blizzard.
Yeah.
It looked like things were moving forwards.
The most beautiful, will they, won't they?
Well, they won't, because PlayStation signed off, went, yep, that's fine, as long as we still get Call of Duty.
And that did get agreed.
And that got agreed. And then the brakes have been put on it again by the FTC, is it?
I think so.
And I at this point, I just want something to I just want it to either happen or not happen. It's like you know that you see those two friends that sort of dance around each other, like, oh, are they going to date? Are they not? I don't care about that. I don't care about Ross and Rachel. Make that decision. I like it when Chandler and Monica got together, when they were like, oh, we know we're going to be together, and then they got together, and that's the way it should be. Fuck Ross and Rachel.
Hello,
Make a
everyone.
decision.
Welcome to Friends Camp.
But like that's what this feels like. You know, it's that weird like courting, like oh no, don't know, with a legal representation as well. Which
I like to think that they saw the
dating in 2023.
they saw what Blizzard did with the Diablo patch, and Microsoft put the brakes on and went, hang on now, do we want this?
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I was going to talk about the Diablo patch. So I know it got mentioned as your thing at the beginning,
Yes.
Karis, but I don't know if you're aware of what happened with
Not at all.
So just before they released season 1, because they're doing like season things, which they're doing like seasonal updates, right? Because they haven't really have they done it for 3? I don't think they did they?
No,
It's
3
like-
just sort of happened.
It just happened, and that's what 2 was, and 1 was just like, here's your game, enjoy it. Now it's like each season they're bringing in like more story
It's
updates,
like
more
an
bits.
always
there.
online thing.
Yeah.
So I think they need to do the what's it called? Live service stuff.
That's
Just,
it.
Bring around a season, bring around new content just to keep people
And it also keeps people spending money.
keep people grinding away.
But whenever you start a new season, you have to start a new character, like start from 0 and go forwards. But what they did with this patch is they nerfed every
Everything.
character. So their justification, they nerfed every single person, and then they said the reason they've nerfed every character is because people were getting through it too quickly. Like that's our fault.
I know.
What they could have done is, if they buffed pretty much every enemy in the game, I don't think people would have been annoyed. But the fact they nerfed everyone, or even if they nerfed like 3 of the characters and then nerfed the other 2 like next season or like in 2 weeks' time, people wouldn't have minded. But instead they did that, and then I think the morning that we're recording, which I can't remember the date, but something came out.
It's the 22nd of July.
Blizzard apologised for it, didn't they?
They said we're rolling it back.
We're rolling it back. We're sorry for upsetting you all. We're rolling it back.
Oh, I love a backtrack.
They're not taking it back to the original level. Someone joked that they're doing like put it further, and then people complain, and then when you put it where you actually intended, everyone's happy.
It's that sort of it's the you know, when you put in an offer on a house, you go, oh, I'm only going to do it for 170, knowing full well that you're going to pay 200, but they want 250, and you come to this agreement in the middle, like, well, I guess we're both happy, but that's the price you both wanted anyway.
You're really twisting my arm, but you know.
I guess I'll do it for you.
Yes. If I have to.
Which is what Blizzard have done. So it's a real weird sort of. I wouldn't say it was a mess. I just say it's a bit strange in general how they've done this. I mean, I think it's live service, and they're not really sure how to do it because they haven't done it right with Overwatch either, and that's they just don't seem to know what they're doing with these sort of
I
like
saw,
wars online.
actually, speaking of Overwatch, I was scrolling through Reddit last night when I was a bit drunk, and the amount of threads at the moment and subreddit content that is like people aching for them to bring some kind of like Overwatch 1 stuff back. Like, it's like people are fucking not
hemorrhaging
enjoying
players.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they need to. They need to bring in an update, which is maybe like called Overwatch Classic, and that I would go back if they went back to 6v6.
I go back to Overwatch if it was.
If I could trust them,
I maybe would.
I
You
mean,
would. If the rest of us were playing,
I'm more
you'd go.
interested in a piece of news I forgot about, which I will very quickly.
Oh, go for it.
Go for it.
Which is that as part of the like Microsoft Activision thing, they rebooted a bunch of online servers for the old Call of Duty games.
Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops went back online, didn't it?
Yeah, and it got more concurrent players than Halo and Battlefield combined.
Wow.
Everyone just went, oh,
Shit.
fuck, Black Ops is back? Hell yeah.
They're like, good, I've been waiting 12, 13 years for this. Let's get back on there.
Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2 all came back on, and everyone was like, well, fuck
Oh my
this.
god, I used to play Black Ops when I was a teenager.
So I'm like, would you go back to Overwatch? I'm like, no, I'm buying Game Pass to go to play fucking Black Ops.
Yeah, I mean, that's because I've got Game Pass, so I probably will do
My
that.
dog's kill streak at 15 kills.
Yeah. I mean,
Fucking love Black Ops.
I mean, you could get dogs. Funny enough, in one of the free games this month, I think was it this one? It was either Cold War or it was Vanguard. Yeah, either Cold War or Vanguard. They had the dog kill streaks in that as well, which was good fun.
I love it.
Although I always got confused because the ones attacking you were German Shepherds, but the ones that you sent out were Doberman. And I always got confused with which dog I should be shooting. One is inherently a bad dog in films and one's a good dog, and I think it was the wrong way around.
Just for the listeners, don't shoot dogs.
Unless you're playing Resident
in-game.
Evil, yeah.
In which case you can shoot those fucking dogs.
And even then, feel bad about it.
So yeah, as you were talking about buying Xbox Game Pass, trying to do a wonderful segue, and then I completely ignored you. That's a big bit of news this month, I think, isn't it? The Xbox Game Pass changes, and it's big changes, isn't it? And people, I don't think, are particularly happy.
It's mixed, I think.
Basically, it looks like they're going to what PlayStation have done. They're doing a tiered system where you can pay more. That's it. No matter what, it's all going up though, because I think it's going from $7.99 to a minimum of like $12.99 or something like that per month. So it's a fairly big jump up for basic stuff. And I think if you're going, so console is more expensive again than PC, which is fine. But then they got an ultimate package, which will give you everything. And there's also talks that there's anime coming to it and all this sort of thing.
Oh, wow, okay.
But basically, I think Microsoft, I mean, we've been saying this for years. Everyone has been saying it, that this is basically the only way that Microsoft is making money because they aren't doing the exclusives.
Yeah.
But they've now realised they're hemorrhaging money.
They have to boost it because, like, it's the mixed feelings of, I obviously don't want to pay more, but I also understand you've got to make fucking money somehow.
Yeah.
And this is how you make the money.
And how else are you going to encourage developers to go on your Game Pass?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the money to give them, not back for it, it just doesn't make sense.
I saw a discussion about this recently where there was a conversation about like why, even though to be fair, Microsoft is doing some good shit at the minute, they're exclusives.
They really have.
There was
upped
a
their
conversation
game,
of like why they're exclusives generally at a tier like below the big PlayStation headliner ones.
Yeah.
And someone was saying, well, if you go to your studio and say, make a game we're going to release day one on our streaming service with no fucking fanfare.
Yeah.
Are you going to put as much effort in?
No, and I get that entirely. PlayStation go, right, you know what? You've got this. You won't be going on our service. I think it's a minimum of a year.
Yeah.
It's a minimum of a year, even for the ones that... Oh, no, there are certain ones like Stray, for example, which wasn't for them exclusively, was it? It was just an agreement that they made as like a...
They made an exclusivity agreement.
We had an exclusivity agreement, but we're going to put it on,
but
here.
Stray's a Annapurna game.
Yeah, so it's just one of those games that, goes everywhere. But they've gone, look...
It's a cat.
Yeah, but we'll give you extra money. That was awful. But that's the sort of way. But then you look at Xbox, like Starfield is their big headline game, and that's coming straight to Game Pass. You actually can't buy a physical copy of the disc.
Yep.
You have to get a digital copy.
Yep.
It's weird stuff like that. You're thinking, what are you doing, Xbox? Why are you doing
Xbox
this?
don't want to make consoles.
No.
I've said this for years. The whole purpose of it is Xbox don't want to make consoles. They want to make Game Pass, and they want you to play on PC. And that is the end of it. They don't want to make consoles anymore.
I just don't understand why they don't do that then. Kill the Xbox, let consoles go on that way. Have your own subscription service where you hold games exclusively and people have to pay for Microsoft on your PlayStation and do it that way.
I wouldn't be shocked if this is the last generation of Xbox consoles.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Just because, like, to be fair, this time they were selling the consoles mainly as you bought it as a 24-month payment plan with Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's essentially just a Game Pass box.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
And
so
I think it's maybe the end of the Xbox as we know it. And it's basically just like, here is a glorified, like, fucking streaming console.
it'd be so
The
weird
hot
though.
thing to just put Game Pass into
Imagine coming out and what Sony has won the console wars, because that's how it'll come out, won't it?
Yeah.
Nintendo's its own thing. Like, Nintendo's never going away. Nintendo's not really part of it. Nintendo's the kid brother that's just sort of tagged along.
Just made for fun.
Nintendo is the Switzerland of the console war, just raking in the gold, watching the plebs fight. It's like, yes, fight. Mario, Zelda, Metroid, fight.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to make a joke, and I'm not going to make that joke, so I'm going to move past it.
Yep.
Pretend it didn't happen in my head. But yeah, those are sort of like, I would say those are sort of the headline bits that I've spotted this month. I don't know if you've... I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how Xbox Game Pass changes. I pay for it. I found a few games that I've enjoyed. I'll talk about what games I've been playing on there, but it seems like a better service than PlayStation.
Yeah, like I paid for a month's worth of Game Pass just to play Viva Pinata. But,
Oh my god.
it seems like the kind of thing I will eventually, if I have the income, pick up just to play little games and like exclusives and stuff.
That's what I'm using it for.
I wouldn't use it for games I could get on PlayStation, because to be fair, I like having the disc, I like having the trophy ecosystem and that, even if it means paying a bit more money for it. But I'd use it to play like little indies, I'd play Xbox exclusives, I'd play Viva Pinata, Like, those are the three. Really.
Well, this is it. I've got it. I've downloaded a bunch of exclusives, and I've downloaded like stuff like Bramble, which is something which is nice, but not something that I want to go out and buy a physical copy of. Right? If I love the game, then I'll buy it again. But like, I'm not going to go and buy it that way.
Yeah.
But then some games I'm glad aren't exclusive to consoles. You've got other publishers that are doing stuff all over the place. I mean, like Capcom is one of those ones which will be forever like split across the two.
Speaking of Capcom,
I literally gave you the segue to take over there, Gareth.
I missed it.
I looked at you.
Anyway, I do have some Capcom news.
And why?
It's pretty
Please company, Capcom.
It's kind of vague though. I'm not gonna lie, on two ways. So what?
Sorry, keep going.
Anyway, so there's been some Resident Evil news, which I'm excited about. It's not really news, though, if I'm being honest. It's an insider report that has basically said that it's looking like Resident Evil 9 is going to be coming out in 2025, and that it's probably going to be announced next year. It does kind of make up that pattern of like they release a new title, they release a remake, and then they release a new title. Yeah. So obviously we've had 8, we've had the Resi 4 remake, and the next one then would follow with that because we had Biohazard in 2017, we had Village in 2021, and then we had the 4 remake this year.
That makes sense. It matches. Really.
Now it kind of matches up that would make sense.
It's a really nice model if they can keep doing one every 2 years rather than when they go to like Ubisoft where they start trying to pump a game out once a year or once every 6 months.
I think if they tried to do that, if they tried to do a new title all the time, like
we get Resi 6.
We get Resi 6, yeah. Being said, obviously, I've said like I'm a little bit nervous as to where 9 is going.
Probably on console.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And PC.
Yeah.
But just because obviously
not Switch for a while.
Personally, and I know I've spoken about this before, I don't really feel like the DLC wrapped things up in a way that was intended. I don't know.
I don't think it was meant to wrap it up though, was it? It was meant to go, look, the door is still open. We could still got plenty of Winter's story.
No, they said the point of it was that brings the family's section of that story to an end.
Well, they fucked up then.
9 may not have anything to do with the Winters. I do think that it's leaning towards maybe try a spoiler. If you haven't played Village, you might want to skip over this bit. Chris and the beer, and Chris going against the beer.
Yeah, maybe we'll go on with Chris's story, but that heralds the end of a series.
To tie in with the Resi 5 remake,
Yeah, but it does. But it heralds the end, I think, by putting Chris again at the forefront. I don't know. That's my own opinion.
My only worry is that I hope that with that they're able. I mean, there's a good amount of horror you could do with it, and they lent into the horror really well in the DLC. I thought in parts, and obviously they did with 7 and 8 very heavily. But I hope they don't make the mistake they always do with these trilogies, which is they just go straight into action all the time.
7 is basically close to 2.
Yeah.
And 1. And then you look at 8, which is basically 4. Then you're going to look at 9, which is going to be 8, basically 6.
And
that's the way it's going to work out.
I will absolutely lose my shit.
And then they'll relaunch it again, and the first game and half of the next game will be good, and the rest will be bad. Yeah. It's just going to slowly become more focused in.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like... it's nerve-wracking. It is a little nerve-wracking for me. But this came on the back of as well. There's another... little Capcom announcement, very vague, but it looks like a big Capcom game is set to be announced at the end of this year for launch in autumn 2024. There's a lot of gaming leaks and kind of rumours, subreddits that have speculated that it might be a new Monster Hunter, which is rumoured to be appearing at the Game Awards, but, and this will lead on from last episode, right?
I'm concerned
People
now.
People are really hoping that it's a Dino Crisis.
Oh, yeah. That's what you meant. Okay, I don't know where
It's probably not. Let's be frank. It's probably not a Dino Crisis remake, but if it was, I would be
Monster Hunter World 2.
I mean, I didn't get into the Monster Hunter World, but I bought it on release, I remember. I got very excited for it.
Loved it.
Ate an entire curry whilst waiting for it to download, and then had to shit. Then I had to shit my brains out for most of the night and didn't play a game. It was a good time.
Nice. I've never played Monster Hunter, so...
It's fucking hard.
I think it's probably one of those games which will also be a lot more fun playing with people.
Yeah. The combat in Monster Hunter, I think, is the opposite of intuitive. Is the only problem with it. Is it gives you 14 weapon types and goes, go on.
Choose choose what you want, and you're like, I don't know what's
Basically,
good.
you have to go out and try each one and go, well, that's shit, that works.
We'll look forward to whatever comes out of those. But
Yeah.
it's been a bunch of really vague news this month as well.
This is what I struggled with. I know you asked me this morning, you were like, what's your gaming news for this month? And I was like, I don't really have anything because everything is really... Well, this could happen.
Yeah, and I mean, talking of this could happen, Darren's doing...
I have two pieces of news.
Oh, one's not could happen. One's definitely will happen.
One did happen. It's very funny. But we'll talk about the could happen first. Another insider report. Oh, God. The Metroid Prime 2 remaster is apparently happening. That's nice. It's apparently being released, and I quote, relatively soonish.
I love the wording of that.
What does that mean?
Relatively soonish are so vague next to each other that they're almost like oxymoronic. Like it's like
I could describe next week, and I could describe like 3 years from now as relatively soonish.
Yeah.
Yep. It depends on your own point of view.
Exactly.
We
well,
could die.
relative.
We
Yes.
could die relatively soonish.
Thank you.
And the other piece of news, just quickly, is that in Baldur's Gate 3 you can fuck a bear. So what have we been playing?
Oh my god! What? Rewind on that,
Have you missed that entirely?
What the fuck?
Okay.
So that was a San Diego Comic-Con, was it?
There was a stream.
I can't remember where it went.
The stream is what I'm thinking of, where they were showing a piece of gameplay from Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And basically, they were having the people in the chat decide what dialogue options to take. And they ended up, of course, trying to fuck someone because it's a Twitch chat and they're fucking degenerates.
Please subscribe to our Twitch.
And be a degenerate there. We'd love to have you. But they were fucking a druid, and the druid got very excited and turned into a bear. And the option was then, do you still want to fuck the bear? And obviously
they said yes.
Yes.
Obviously they said yes.
I mean, this is some could have news as well.
Listen, people's gamers, bless us. The fact that we try and work fucking into
I don't think it's just gamers. I think it's everyone.
I was talking to Josh about potentially
fucking
streaming streaming the Mortuary Assistant later because I really want to play it and apparently it's shit scary. I was looking at the reviews for it on stream and loads of people are like, yeah, it's really scary, it's really good, and then 95 of them were, I wish there was like a romance thing on here because I know that these bitches all want a piece of me. And I'm like, this is a mortuary game!
Yep. Those corpses can't say no.
What I genuinely think it partially was, though, is that Baldur's Gate 3 is like heralding itself as you can sort of do anything.
Yeah,
There's all of these options and all of these fucking ranges. And I genuinely think a lot of people just want to see if they'd let you fuck the bear.
Yeah, oh no, definitely. I mean, that's what mine would be like, the curiosity, like, all right, is this one of those things you go, yes, and then the bear mauls you? Like, where's that option going to take me?
How do the mechanics of fucking a baby?
I mean, I could probably guess those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how,
I've played D&D. I can guess that.
Gently and
and you
tenderly.
would fuck the bear in D&D too.
I
Josh is
am
the
the
bear.
bear.
He is the bear doing the fucking.
I was going to say, in real life as well.
Oy.
Hey!
But yeah, it was going to happen, wasn't it? It was one of those things. I mean, and it caused a massive spike in sales for the game. Pre-orders have gone through the roof because of that scene. So,
Like, if you tell me all the details of the game and then go, also, the devs let you fuck a bear, I'd be like, yeah, go on.
all right, I'm in.
Whatever.
I mean, I liked. I've only ever played, I think, Baldur's Gate 1 or 2. I can't remember. Not near the microphone, you.
Apologies.
Trying to sneakily text away and thought you wouldn't get called out. Right next to the microphone. I get it. It's like
fucking typewriter.
machine gun fire going on in the corner.
The lovely, lovely Lydia, who I'm really sorry you got
Friend of the
cut out.
podcast.
Oh, don't worry. It'll get cut out of this episode as well.
I know.
We'll see.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going now, but yeah, it's boosted sales, and that's great. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I've only played the first one or the second one. I can't remember. I played one of them. I really enjoyed it, but I liked it in the same way that I played it just after Diablo, and it was that thing.
Yeah.
And this feels like a huge change in how they're
Very
doing it.
curious about it.
Yeah.
Let's see like how it reviews.
You're bear curious.
Very curious, yeah.
Only other thing. Only other thing I want to say is that Invincible, the TV series, and the comic originally, announced that they were having a game being made, which I was excited about. But I thought, it's going to be a fighting game. And then I saw who announced it, and I was very unexcited because it was Ubisoft.
Oh,
and I just assumed they're going to they're going to fuck it up. So less excited. I just thought I'd say was excited, then had the carpet immediately pulled.
At least it's not Crystal Dynamics, who made the Avengers game.
You got to look at. I mean, it wasn't a bad game.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't great. Yeah, it's got to be better. I'm concerned it's going to turn into like a One Punch Man style game.
We'll see.
Which was meh. Anyway, that's the news that we've managed to find. So seeing as we thought there was no news, we managed to talk about news for quite a while anyway.
And now the olds.
What have we been playing this month? Has anyone been playing anything interesting? Do you want to continue to talk about more Resi,
Yeah,
Gareth?
I think I'll start because this is pretty short.
We can never get you off of Resi.
No.
We're trying our best, guys.
I just love it. But to be fair, I've started my Resident Evil Legacy streams, and I'm playing Resi 1 right now, the remaster. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm struggling with it. I am struggling with it. It's complex.
Yeah, it's a lot less forgiving than the more modern entries.
Yeah,
I'd say.
it's I don't know. It's not. I was saying this to Darren in the car earlier on. It's a lot less clear cut where you have to go, what you have to do. It's a very clear first entry into a series where they haven't quite found their feet yet. The fixed cam is confusing. It's fun to play. Don't get me wrong, but it's utterly frustrating.
I think it's less that they haven't found their area. I think this is how Resi games would have continued if like Dark Souls had got to the sort of like pivot where it's like you can be unforgiving, you can make things difficult unnecessarily and difficult if you want to, and people will love it. And that people did love Resi 1
they did,
but like Dark Souls got away with it, and a lot more developers since then have done that. I'm not saying they'd go into that Soul style games. I just think they would go, you know what, we are going to play in this unforgiving, you have to really work out to find out what these obscure puzzles are.
I think also the main thing is that the guy who made Resident Evil is a madman.
Yes.
And he was very much, always had the mindset of like one and done. So he made Resi 1 and was like, okay, I'm done with this. I want to do something else. And then they sort of dragged him back and he made Resi 2, which is a bit different. It's got a bit sort of less of that original puzzly structure, but the same sort of idea. And then he went, okay, I'm done. And then they got him back to make 3.
And he went, I'll give you half a game.
Which is like, I'll give you more action, give you a little bit of puzzling, I'll give you more action. And they brought him back. And then went, make 4. He went, well, fucking alright.
I mean,
4 was meant to be less Resident Evil as well. It's one of my favourite weird gaming stories about what Resi 4 was originally meant to be.
It was less Resident Evil, I would say.
It was still less Resident Evil. Do you know about this? What the original Resi 4 became?
No.
The original Resi 4 became Devil May Cry.
Oh, really? That's
wow.
cool. I forgot about that. We did discuss it.
Yeah.
Which is why he's got the same hair.
I fucking love Devil May Cry, man.
Yeah, so that was originally Resi 4, and they went, no, we've gone too far.
Yeah.
Let's make this something else.
I mean, that's a shame, because I mean...
I love Devil May Cry, so that makes sense.
That'd been cool if that's how Resident Evil progressed. Yeah. You slowly become the things you've been killing, and then...
You start following the series later on, you're like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, just to clarify, though, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying that it's a bad game. Like, I have really enjoyed playing it. It's just one of those things that I find I can only do in, like, small chunks, because I get so frustrated by it that... like, it turns my brain into absolute mush.
To be fair, I think it's especially bad for you with no sense of direction.
Absolutely.
It's a game that requires you to know, like, where you're going and where things are. I'm the same with it. Where I've watched people stream Resi 1, and they're like, oh, I need to go back to this room where this goes. I just go, like, right here, left here, around this corner, left here. I'm like,
how the fuck?
I would have got to the first left and seen 2 doors. And gone,
there are certain places I've been a few times now that I'm like, okay, I remember where this is. I remember this room. But then when it comes to having to go to new places, it ain't for me. Like,
yeah, I really like. I mean, that works for me. I know I've got quite a good sense of direction. I can trace my steps back. I mean, I've been playing Dark Souls recently. It's like, oh, we need to go here. I'm like, cool, know where I'm going. Then that's fine. I'll just run through all of these, and I've got all the interconnections, and that's not a problem. Like, I don't often need a map. I'm normally pretty good, but
going, yes, no, I need the map.
I'm
And this
bad.
map does not help.
No.
And then the other thing I was playing on a completely different change of pace was I've gone back to Disney Dreamlight Valley for a while after having a pretty big break from it.
Horror classic.
Yeah, the scariest shit you'll ever see. And
Fucking Stitch everywhere.
I'm not... I don't know. There've been a few updates. There's been a few different things, but I think that they have kind of stalled. So there was a little bit of a no, I would say like an uproar, but an upset that they'd monetized certain parts of it. Which
is always
was
gonna be the case.
inevitable. It was always going to happen. It was released on Freebies for a while.
They monetized it almost immediately, I felt like, but...
I mean, I personally, maybe this is just me. I knew it was coming. It's not something that's taken away from the game for me. But my problem is that they haven't, with their updates and then bringing new characters in and stuff, they haven't actually updated anything about your personal character. So when you're at the place where I am, where you reached max level pretty quickly, your only motivation is your relationships with these other characters, and without being able to,
benefit from them,
yourself, it becomes really repetitive and quite boring.
It feels like a nice, easy thing to bring. You bring in a new character, you add an extra 10 levels on the actual main character, and you just put a bunch of like rewards for each one, and you feel like you're getting something.
Yeah.
But
it's become very much. I put it on for a little bit last night, and immediately was like, nah, it's. I'm not getting much from this.
It's still beta, isn't it? This game, technically,
so.
isn't it? It's not. It's not its full formed game. So we'll see what comes.
Is Basil the Great Mouse Detective in the game?
No,
Bad
no.
game.
Yeah, not worth playing.
Bad game. Who cares
Simba's
then?
in it now,
Well,
which
fuck
is
him.
nice.
Well, she would. We've already talked about it in the last episode.
I would not fuck Simba.
Little Matthew Broderick ass bitch.
I would let Kovu dominate me in ways that I could not explain on a podcast.
Like a bear in Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, the worst bit is I cut that out last time. I'm going to have to fucking cut it out again. 'Cause that joke doesn't mean anything.
That's where you're wrong. Leave it in.
Yeah, I'll leave in the follow-up to the joke I cut out. That'll be good.
It's on YouTube. It's fine.
Gonna
So
chase the law.
you've been playing those two primarily. Then is that sort of where you've been?
yeah.
I think it's been a weird month for games in general. I've been dipping in and out. I don't know if you're the same as me, Darren. Well, you definitely. Actually, you've been dipping in and out of every game that you've ever played.
Oh, I played a lot of games this month. I got stuck on one of them real fucking bad.
I thought your trophy thing that you were doing, where you played a little bit of every game you owned.
Oh, yeah. The website True Trophy has an event every year called the Bean Dive. And the idea is you try to trash your completion percentage as much as possible by playing a bunch of games you've never played before and get one trophy.
Why is that called the Bean Dive?
I think because a guy with the surname Bean decided on it.
Oh, okay, right.
I think that's what it is.
They just love Fall Guys over there.
Yeah.
Just love it.
And most months I participate and I played like 10 games. I think my first year I played 7, and the next year I played 12, and this year I think I played 46 games.
Nice.
Which is good. I played
It's not good. It's not good.
I played all the original Dooms. Never played those before. Those are good games.
Up to one trophy.
Yep. Doom
Wait,
1, 2, and 3
I
to
was
one
going to say,
trophy.
Doom 1, you get a trophy pretty quickly, though, right?
No. I
Really?
got one a little ways in, I think, for killing 3 people with a barrel. And that was the
okay.
first trophy I got. But I will talk about one of the games I played, because I've been playing it non-stop for like a week now. I started fucking Digimon World.
Yeah.
Not the one that we were playing.
Digimon World Next Order,
Thanks, guys. Do you want any more noises to add to it?
Ooh.
There we are.
which is essentially like a soft remake of the PS1 Digimon World with the Digimon training and city building aspects.
So everything you love in a game.
Everything I love in a game and in the original Digimon World game, and fucking hell, every second of my life since then has been dedicated to this fucking game. It's just so much fun. It's a weird maths problem where everything needs like 8 categories to evolve into one of 4 options.
So what we're saying is it's not a game for me. No. Oh, right, cool.
It's like, oh, this one needs to reach 5 of these categories, and I have 4, and the 2 I have left that I've already revealed, so I need to win 30 battles to get its weight up. So which of those would be quicker? Should I go out and fight, or should I just feed it bigger chunks of meat to get its weight up? And I'll get to that, what are the options? And they have a certain lifespan, and then they die, and some of those stats carry over to the next one, so you can hit higher numbers earlier to evolve earlier.
I've never seen someone switch off so quickly during a conversation. Literally, I just went,
Literally, what? Have you guys ever seen Happy Tree Friends?
Yes.
You know the theme song that's like do 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 do. That's what goes through my head when I switch off. And I'm really sorry. You mentioned maths, and my head went not feeling.
The only problem I'm having with it so far, to be fair, is that the level curve is a bit unclear.
Right.
So enemies have levels, but you do not have a level.
Okay.
And it's hard to know where you correspond to their level, and their level is also kind of inconsistent, because depending on what like stage they are...
This feels like a very PS1 game.
It's basically a soft remake of a PS1
That's
game.
what I mean, it's that sort of thing,
But it's like, if you have a rookie and a champion both on level 30, the champion will be stronger. They'll be essentially like level 35 in theory. So I can walk around and beat the shit out of level 30 rookies... But level 30 ultimates will beat the shit out of me.
Right.
And I don't know where I am in that process, so I don't know where I'm meant to be in the game.
That sounds, I'm going to be honest, awful.
I love it. I don't know why I love it so much, but there's something really satisfying.
It's because you don't love yourself, mate. That's
something really satisfying about like
sounds.
getting 3 stages up. So like you've gone through 3 generations, you've boosted the low stats up, and you go into a room, and an enemy that once was red to say... this thing will kick your ass, to being blue, and I walk up to it and just beat the shit out of it.
Right, yeah.
Like, that feels awesome.
Yeah.
And I know where a red one is, and I want to get to a high enough level to go beat the shit out of that, to beat the quest, so I can take the object back to someone else, so I can recruit them to my city, where they'll do some sort of job.
Obviously,
It's great.
Nice.
It's a great fucking game.
You've also been playing another game which came out last month on PS Plus, haven't you? Which I think we've both been playing within Inscription.
Oh, God, Inscription.
Which I think didn't get enough of a shout out last month.
No, I forgot about it, to be perfectly honest, because I played it on Steam a while ago.
Act 1's great.
Act 1 is one of the best things I've ever played.
It's a great sort of roguelike card deck building game that you can add to by deaths and stuff. And it just works really nicely,
It's
and
really
it looks
cool.
really
It's
good.
half deck builder, half escape room. First act of that game.
And then Act 2 is like almost like a Zelda style game, like an original Zelda.
It's fine.
I'm not enjoying Act 2.
I had more fun with it once the internet told me how to fucking break it over my knee. Where once you get half, there's like 4 areas, and halfway through one of the areas is a training dummy, which does not fight back. There is a card type, which every time it dies, both of its stats get +1, and it returns to your hand. And you basically go into that training dummy, and you have a set of cards, which means you summon it, you kill it, one of the other cards you have kills it twice, so its stats go up by 2, and you just resummon it infinitely.
Right.
So I got it up to like 100, which means you just play it and then you win.
You win, yeah, fair enough.
Which means you then blitz through the rest of Act 2. Act 3 is like a blend of the two.
But better than 2.
It's better than the second one.
Not
I'm
as good
not
as the
enjoying
first.
it as much as the first. It's a bit more fiddly.
Right, okay.
Where like it's...
Because I only got about halfway through Act 2 at
Have
the
you
moment.
encountered the cards in Act 2 that require like the energy bar?
Yes.
Where you gain one energy every time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the entirety of Act 3 is that mechanic.
Oh, I don't like that mechanic that
It's
much.
very easy to get overwhelmed because
Right.
you have all your high rank cards and you can't play any of them, so you're just playing the low ones, but he's just fucking bottling cards
Makes
at you.
sense, yeah.
Which I found sort of getting better at it. I'm sort of starting to understand it.
But yeah, I think
But it's fine.
It's a good game. It's one that you should probably give a go if you hadn't
Yeah.
beforehand.
Act 1 is incredible. The rest of the game is good.
Yeah, fair enough. Games for me this month. Firstly, Stranded Deep. Just want to give that a shout. I should have done the news. Its player rating has players coming in. I think has gone up by like 177% because it's broken. They
broke the game.
They broke the game that you can just join a game, and if someone's already got the platinum, you get the platinum.
Yeah.
Which I did. So, because I've played the game before, it wasn't for me, and I didn't like it sat there with one trophy on my bloody thing, so I thought I'd get rid of it. Outside of that, I've gone back into Dark Souls. I know I'm streaming it, but I've playing it separately to that and doing much better, and I've worked it out now.
You get it now.
I can see why people enjoy Dark Souls now. I mean, I've liked other Souls games. It's just I couldn't get into Dark Souls, and now I've hit the rhythm, and it feels good. Outside of that, also just want to talk about it. Forspoken.
Yeah.
Fuck me, I hate this game now. So I know we talked about it briefly, I think back in February's one or something, because I think that's when it came out and you played it, Darren. And the story, as you said, is pretty rough until chapter 11,
Yeah.
and it finishes chapter 13.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is exciting. And then you get to chapter 13, and you've beaten it, and you get to the post-game, and it goes, well, forget all that happened, and we're just walking around the world now for the next 40 hours
Yep.
to just clear the map and level up. And it's a chore. It's just not fun to do.
I find that game so, like, a case of two worlds.
I can't work out what it's doing.
But I really enjoy the core gameplay of Forspoken and basically don't like anything else about it.
That's it.
But I enjoyed the gameplay enough to keep me going.
Well, that's it. I enjoyed it enough to keep me going to get through the story, but now I've got so much of it. I know the platinum's in reach. I just have to give time to it. But giving time to it feels like I'm validating it as a game, and in my heart I can't, because I do think it's the second worst game I've played this year.
I just
that's come out this year.
Disassociated with Forspoken entirely. I put on a podcast, put on headphones, and just
I think that's what I need to do. So I'm busy trying to level up all the magic skills and trying to unlock everything. I mean, there's stuff where you have to get enough coins to buy something, which they just go to the chest. None of the chests are dropping coins for me. I'm like, come the fuck on, RNG bastards! Just give me what I need to buy this one thing, so I can just continue with. It just is like, hey, we realised that the game couldn't really come out and only be 12 hours long, so we decided to add all of this on there just to hit 50, 60 hours. You're like, why have you done this?
I just wish it had the rest of its story.
I just wish it had
it feels like Act 2 is missing.
Yeah, it feels like a lot there. Like, there should be that realization, and then there should be a lot more building up, and then to fight the main boss.
Between chapter 9 and chapter 10 should be 5 more chapters with just something.
Yeah.
But it feels like you sort of go, oh, okay, we're getting into the story now, all right. I have 2 chapters left.
I think you could I think you could restructure the story and elongate it and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like the revelation, which was obvious from the start.
Yeah.
That could be much earlier, and then you have to go through all the sort of challenges, and then you're going against a big bad. It feels more like there's a driving force for it. There isn't a driving force. It's just weird. They've just built this game completely backwards. They've come with an endpoint, and they're going, right, we've built the endpoint. You need to have a reason to get there. She doesn't like the cuff on her arm. And you're like, yep, off she goes.
We talked about this before, where it feels like a game which should be much better, but it feels like whoever was making it made every wrong decision possible. Mm-hmm. There is the core of a very good game in there, with just every time they came to a crossroad decision, made the wrong one, and it ended up where it is.
Even the name.
Yeah.
Four-spoken, just terrible.
Should be 3-spoken.
5-spoken?
5-spoken.
It should be 5-spoken with because it's all about her. She gets 5 sort of skill trees, doesn't she?
She gets 4.
No, she gets 5.
4, isn't it?
You got the 3, 4. No, it is 4, which is probably why.
4-spoken, yeah.
But it's FOR, not FOUR. Yeah. It's terrible, regardless of what it is.
The American spelling.
Thank you.
Real fucking pleased with that one.
It's just a terrible game, and to make it all worse, you just leave your cat.
Yeah, gutting.
You just leave your cat at home in New York, called Homer, who's a girl.
Yeah.
And is the only cat that looks normal in this game.
Yeah.
Even though you see about 9 other cats.
What was a worse game than that? I'm sure it's the second worst.
Oh, Meet Your Maker. I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one that's worse. But yeah, that's what we've been playing this month.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of the PS Plus lineup as well, so it probably makes sense to move into the PS Plus lineup. First impressions: good month, bad month?
Closer to bad.
Bad month.
Closer to bad.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad month. I know you said it last time, Darren. I'm going to say it now. You said it was a filler month last month. This is even worse than last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while since we've had a month where we were like, oh, fuck, this is good.
I describe it like I have a lot of them as an okay month, but if I had to pick good or bad, I'm erring towards bad.
This is bad. I wouldn't say it's a good month. I mean, you've got the odd, interesting and good game in there, but really there's nothing that you go, wow, that's a headline. They gave us a Call of Duty game, which we were meant to go, oh, thank you for giving me a Call of Duty game that's 3 years old.
It's July. July's the Call of Duty drop.
And it's like, oh, yeah, ready for the next one that comes out. Yeah. And you're like, great, but really this is nothing that I really wanted.
Yeah.
So there isn't really anything that I was like, oh man, I can't wait to play that game.
Normally it's even the games I'm not interested in, I look at and go, that looks cool for someone.
Yeah.
This time I look at the stuff I'm not interested in.
My Little Pony. You got My Little Pony, you've got a Fast and the Furious game in there.
Twisted Metal's cool.
Yeah,
cool that's been added.
I never really got on with Twisted Metal myself, but
it's just like it's cool.
One and two. They put them there.
It's cool that there's premium games.
It's cool there's some premium games, but like you've got all these sort of games, and then they've taken a bunch of games off as well, haven't they? Like you were saying, what were the 4 big ones? Because obviously they take a bunch of like filler stuff.
They're dropping
anyway.
Borderlands 3 is leaving, and then Yakuza 0
which
and
I'm very
remakes
upset.
of 1 and 2. Which is a shame.
It's a shame. There was 2 others that you mentioned before.
Crew 2 and Nidhogg, which is a cool game.
But like they keep taking like better games off than they're putting on at the moment, which is the bigger worry, I think. Which you do get with Xbox Game Pass, but it's just not to the same level we get.
Yeah.
Like the turnover right now after it hit the year has been massive. They're dropping lots of titles. So should we have a little look at the games that we're championing this month? So although we say it's not a great month, there are some good gems in there.
Good enough stuff.
I think we've got a pretty decent top 5. I'd say we've got a decent top 4. And then 5 could be argued.
5 alone.
No,
We'll get there.
I think 5's wrong. I think we've got the wrong 5th game.
Leave it alone, but we'll get there.
Because I will talk about the 6th game as well. So should we go with you, Cerys? Because I think you're championing, I would say, the biggest
game
of the games.
Absolutely, the biggest one.
I love
Of
this
the ones that
game
we're
too.
championing, yeah.
I love this game. So I'm championing It Takes Two,
Yeah.
which I know we've all played.
Great.
Yep.
I
think we all have the platinum on it.
Yep.
Yes, we do. Yeah. It's an action adventure is what I meant to say. Platform game. It was a Hazelight Studios production, which is the same people who do A Way Out, and I mentioned in this because
2 brothers.
It's
Is it just brothers?
A Tale of Two Sons.
A Tale of Two Sons.
yeah,
That's it.
and much like A Way Out, there's no single player option, so this is a couch co-op game. And
I love a couch co-op game.
So good. It is so good because it is it's a lot more fun than I expected it to be, and it's also a lot more, you get a lot more emotionally invested in it than I think you anticipate when you go in.
I would argue it's their best one. I think this is better than A Way Out.
I think so, yeah. And essentially, the reason why you get emotionally invested in it is because the voice acting in it is really good. I think they do really, really well. The characters are really, they're just nice.
There's a depth to the characters. I mean,
So-
the fact it's got a divorced family.
Well, this is the thing. I was about to say, you play Cody and May, and they're a married couple who are very much planning on getting a divorce. Their marriage is falling apart. And they tell their daughter, and she takes these kind of like handmade dolls that are meant to look like her parents, represent her parents, and she tries to kind of repay their relationship by kind of play acting with them, and subsequently the parents actually end up trapped inside these dolls, and it's how you get through this kind of play world to get everything back on track, basically.
You do have the worst character in the world in this game as well, with the Book of Love.
So I was going to say, I think the book is one of the most Marmite characters in gaming. I love him.
Dr. Hakim, I love Dr.
Oh, he's
Hakim.
the best.
Did Lauren hate him as well?
No.
Oh, fuck, is it just me that hated
I love
it?
Dr. Hakim.
He's incredible.
So, just to clarify, because obviously me and you played it together, Cerys, where you played as May and I played as Cody. Is that the same way that you and Lauren played, where you played as Cody, she plays as May?
Yeah.
I think playing as a couple, this probably adds an extra level to this game. It's got one of the most horrific scenes in gaming.
This is what I was going to talk about. Okay,
Don't spoil it if people haven't played it.
I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a part.
I think we brought this up on a season 1 episode.
Might have done.
You have to put your morals aside and essentially indulge in torture. And I'm not going to go into it, but fucking
I think this torture scene is worse than the GTA 5 torture scene.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, it ruined me. I was like, I can't believe I'm
it's
doing
worse
this.
than the Modern Warfare one.
The GTA one is at least in line with the game.
Oh, yeah.
As is the Modern Warfare one. This comes so out of left field.
This torture almost comes into like those comedy action films where someone's like, oh no, I didn't mean to, oh, Joe, ooh, and they're like concerned and worried, and that's sort of how it feels, but it gets worse and worse.
It's horrific.
But there are so many good moments in this game and just great bits. Like like just ice skating was lovely
Yeah,
to do and things
That's
like that.
one of our Christmas traditions now is we load up the ice skating level of It Takes Two.
Do you?
We just have a nice time in like little winter wonderland,
That's
snowball
lush.
fighting, skating around.
That's good
No,
fun.
and it's just really well written as well. I feel like the dialogue between them as they're trying to kind of work out everything and reach their daughter, and like, I mean, Dr. Hakim is fair enough annoying,
Beautiful man.
but I just think he's bloody brilliant. Just the whole world is great, and it's just a lush game to play. So it's really captivating, and I would recommend it to anybody. Really,
I think it's one of the best realizations of what a couch co-op game can be.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
like you both in every area have completely different abilities that are complementary, and it's just like so great to have to puzzle solve as a pair.
Yeah,
We're like, right, I need to do this, you need to do this. Da-da-da-da.
yeah.
Yeah, I just think it does work, doesn't it? That's the thing. It works. And that's as you said, couch co-op is dying, and this is one of those games that brings it back. It's the same as A Way Out. Realistically, you could both do either part.
Yeah.
It didn't matter which one you did, whilst this one is very much like you have set skills, you have set skills.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have to work together to get out of this. And that's the whole point of the story, though, so that's good.
Yeah.
So that's It Takes Two.
Yep.
I'll go next with my game, because I was also horribly emotionally invested in the game that I'm championing, which is Endling Extinction is Forever, I think is the whole title, where you play as the last fox on Earth, who's trying to save her 4 cubs. Early on in the story, one of your cubs gets taken, and the whole story is you trying to reconnect with that. Honestly, I have never felt so helpless in a game and sad. It's obviously this is meant to be teaching us that we need to be aware of what we are doing, and it's not just foxes, but it's everyone is affected in this at the end, and it's just awful but brilliant. Like the music is great. It's very simple. Like you're walking along. You find some food, you pick it up, you drop it for your cubs to feed them. So the whole thing is making sure you're feeding your cubs enough each day to keep them alive, and then also getting back before daybreak so you don't get attracted by humans and ultimately die. And it's going off and trying to avoid hazards, but also you pick up the scent of your cub and trying to follow that along. And I think it's about 4 or 5 hours really for the game. My God, at the end of it, I was just like, this is going to sit. That's what you want. You want a game that's going to sit with you. And this game will sit with me, and I will think about it from time to time. It just did everything it needed to do perfectly. And it's a wonderful art style as well, which helps. But it's a game I would recommend people to play, not to have a good time, necessarily, but I do genuinely think this is one of those games that is perfect at what it's doing. So it's not like a God of War, but it's a game that is perfect in its own right.
This is one of the games I played in my string of getting 1 trophy.
Yeah.
And you get a trophy just after the cubs are born. You have to colour them. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is going to be rough. But I switched it on. I got the 1 trophy, and I'm like, ooh, I'm not looking forward to coming back to this one.
You get to make all your cubs look slightly different. They've got their own colours, and then 2 days later, someone comes in and steals one of your cubs.
Like the very beginning of the game, up to the point I got the
Are
trophy.
they pups?
Pups.
I can't remember what they are.
Fox cubs.
Yeah, fox cubs. Yeah.
I
said cubs earlier.
The first part of that game is you run away from a massive forest fire, go into a hole, and then give birth. And I got a trophy and went, this is going to be sad.
And it is.
My God.
This is going to be rough.
It is. And the thing is, I didn't realise she was meant to be the last fox on Earth until I read the description. You're the last fox on Earth. I was like, what? You got great things. You become friends with a badger, and it's my favourite moment in the game. You're a badger just wandering along.
Fantastic, Mr. Fox.
Yeah, and it's just waiting to get my whole crew together.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's harrowing as a game goes for such a simple game. But yeah, really recommend it. But yeah, Endling.
Cool. My game will not sit with me. I will play this. It will sort of disappear out my brain, and I'll think about it from time to time and go, "Oh, that was fun." The game I'm championing is a game called Dismantle, which is
With a Y.
With a Y. Yeah.
Dismantle.
In the other place.
Oh, in the other place.
DYS.
Oh, right.
Mantle. This is, I described it, we've been playing a lot of Project Zomboid. I describe it as Zomboid if it was less sad. Where basically you come out of a shelter on an island that's essentially, it's zombies. I don't think they're called zombies, but they're zombies. And you have to get off the island. And basically the way it starts is you start in a sort of walled community, you leave, you get to a military base, there is a rocket, and you have to get the fuel cells for the rocket. That is basically the entire game. The structure of it is you start the game with your crowbar.
Yep.
You use your crowbar to break shit. Mm-hmm. You use the shit you've broken to upgrade your crowbar so you can break bigger shit. That is the entire gameplay loop.
Right.
It's awesome.
What's that ball rolling game where you pick up?
Katamari.
It feels like that, really. Yeah.
That is how I mentally thought about it as I was playing it.
It's Katamari. Like, I'm small, I need to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
One of the earliest things you do is you come out and you go into like these houses in this little walled community, and the only thing you can break at the start to get wood scraps is chairs, like dining room chairs.
Yeah.
You then upgrade your crowbar, and you have just enough power to then break the table, which you can then get upgraded to the next stage. You can start breaking like kitchen cabinets, so you start getting iron, which you can then use to upgrade it again, so you can start breaking down, like, I have it to the point where I've upgraded my machete, which is the second tool I got, so I can now break down the walls of wooden houses to get proper wooden planks.
This sounds like a lot going on. Well, not a lot, but it feels like it's quite a big game. A dense, would you say?
It's not. It's less dense than you'd think.
Right.
Like, it's quite straightforward in that you have, I'd say, at most at where I'm at, like 10 different material types.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty much where you'd expect them to come from. If you need ceramic, you break plates on a table.
Right.
If you need iron, you break, like, heating units or sinks. If you need fabric, you break beds.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, by dense, I mean, like, I think, because obviously there's trophies attached to this, it's going to be upgrade all your tools, do all that sort of thing, which is what by dense I mean. There's going to be a lot of content.
There's like a few collectibles going around. There's fishing, there's crops, but not as such that you need them. Like, the only purpose of food is you can find recipes in kitchens, and then if you cook the meal, you get a boost. So, like, the first one you find is tomato soup. And if you cook a tomato soup, you get, I think, like, +5 max HP.
Right.
And you only get that bonus once.
Okay.
But it means you only need to make it once. And you found, like, eggs and bacon, like a salad. And then you get a little bonus from that.
So it's not a survival element to it. It's just you're going around...
Yeah. You find the 4 fuel cells to leave.
Do you have to kill those zombie things?
Yeah. They're not, like... They're pretty fucking easy to kill, to be fair. But also every upgrade you get more damage. So I can kill most of them in, like, 1 or 2 hits now.
That's fair enough. That's cool.
And then eventually your core parts of each area are like these signal towers. And at a certain level you unlock upgrades to the signal towers. And one of the upgrades stops zombies from respawning.
Oh, okay. So you can clear an area out permanently.
Yeah. But to get that, you need, like, they're called mana orbs, which you get from beating, like, bosses. So you beat a boss, you get an orb, which then means you can lock out another area to not respawn.
Last question I got about this.
Yeah.
Is it just single player?
You can play couch co-op.
Oh, you can?
I learned this as I was quitting the last time.
That's cool.
Because at the bottom I had, like, press start to enter.
Nice.
So I think you can have 2 people just roaming around.
That's good
I don't
fun.
think you can do it online.
Well, that's all I was curious if you can do couch co-op, because, like, always a couch co-op game deserves to be higher in our lists. Really.
Yeah, but it's a nice one. You can, like, just break shit.
Fair enough.
Nice.
That sounds like a nice therapeutic game to smash shit up.
Yeah.
Smash it up. Should we have a little look at our top 5 then?
All right.
Yeah.
For this, I'm going to give an honourable mention to 6,
Okay.
which is Undertale, which not everyone's going to like, but as you said, most overhyped game probably of all time.
I accept it's good. I also think it's massively overrated.
Yeah, I think it's a good game. I think it's fun. It's got some cool mechanics in there. It's interesting. Again, a single person like Starlight.
Yeah.
Stardew, not Starlight, Stardew Valley. But
Shout out
like
Toby Fox.
But it's good. It's a good game, and I think it's a game that everyone should experience because it's one of those games that sort of changed how gaming could be. I suppose when we got more modern, you know. But that was number 6. So number 5 is Circus Electrique.
Woo!
This game's pretty fucking cool, to be fair. There's 2 parts to this game. It's one part, I would describe it as dungeon crawler, but not quite, and one part circus management.
Right. Yep.
So you use the circus management to make money and sort of gain additional stats, and then you take 4 people out. So, like, the first quest you have is you need to get to London Bridge from the circus, and it's like nodes on the map.
Right. Okay.
So you have like chests, you have enemies, and you can sort of pick the route you take bit by bit. And every 2 is a day. So every day you need to then put on a new circus show.
Where you are and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like the circus show will have certain roles it needs to be depending on the show you're putting on. And if you build like a good set of performers, you can then upgrade the show.
And can you lose those performers whilst going through the dungeon? Or
I think so, yeah. Because you have to take some of your performers out with you as your party.
Right, yeah, that's
So you
cool.
then have to have enough left behind to put on a show. The only issue I have with it currently is it feels like it's got like too many features.
Right.
Every part of it has like 6 things going on, and I wish there were like 3.
Yeah.
I wish it had less going on, which is not something you often say about a game.
No.
But I'm a little ways into it, and I think I'm still getting fed tutorial at like every fucking turn.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's so much going on.
So much you learn.
And I'm like, just reel it back.
Read it back, yeah. Give this to me in a week's time. Give me a little bit, let me learn that, then a little
Give
bit
me
more.
like 2 things less. Like when you make your circus shows, each performer is either like an opening act, a main act, there are closing acts, there are like transitional acts. They all have different like friendships and relationships.
This all sounds far more complicated than it needs to
Each
be.
party member has specific places in your row that they need to be placed to be most effective, and they have relationships with each other based on.
The worst bit is, I say it sounds really complicated, but it sounds like right up my alley.
I'm like, I need 2 less features here. Like, let me put them anywhere, or let them have not the friendship relationships, or let them go anywhere in the performance.
Like it's trying to do too much.
Having all of them, I'm like,
It's literally just trying to beat you down, make things more
I
hard.
found my set that works, and I'm unwilling to explore further. I'm too scared to push on with the features. I'm just going to keep putting on this show, and I'm going to keep putting on these performers.
I might give it a go after this stream now then.
It's good.
Not stream, but after this
It's
recording.
good. It's really cool aesthetically, and like the atmosphere of it's really cool. But it's a lot. It's a lot of game.
Number 4, we have Alan Wake, which is the remake.
Good game.
It is a good game.
Yeah.
I know you didn't particularly enjoy it when we done the episode, but I think it's because it didn't fit for what it was. I think it's quite campy. I have very much enjoyed it. I've gone back. I've got the platinum on that game.
Yeah.
I think Alan Wake 2 is going to be a big step up from this, but I do genuinely think this is a really good game to go into just to get a feel of what it was.
Yeah.
Before we get this brand new sort of iteration of what
The
it
only
could
thing
be.
I had for Alan Wake 1 is I wished it took itself more or less seriously.
It's really towing the line. Can't work out which
right
side to
in
go.
the middle.
Yeah.
Either like
It feels like the next one. It seemed. I think we sort of
More
talked about
serious,
this before.
yeah.
It has a more serious tone.
That's why I'm more
Yeah.
into it. I'm like, either commit to the serious story you're telling or commit to the campy vibe you're giving off.
Yeah.
But it's trying to do both at once, and that didn't gel with me.
Noir style horror writer talking through. It's to be honest, almost if they hadn't got the voiceover, it would have run in its own thing. But the voiceover became too sort of characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alan Wake, really recommend giving that a check out. Dismantle is 3rd.
Good game.
Which we've already discussed. Endling is 2nd.
Good game.
And It Takes Two is our number 1 game for this month.
Good game.
There are lots of games there. The only other couple of games that we sort of voted for that didn't make it in is the Ascent, which looks interesting.
Yeah.
And Cold War, just because, people like a Call of Duty, I think.
Call of Duty campaigns are just good.
Yeah.
Like, people shit on them a lot. They're always good campaigns. They're never
always-
great, they're never bad.
Some are great.
Some are great.
Yeah, but most of them are just fine. And this is what this is. This is fine.
Is there a campaign that you kind of think like, yeah, that's the
Like,
one?
the best one,
Modern Warfare.
original Modern Warfare 2.
Right.
Is, or original Black Ops as well.
Yeah.
Both of those, I would say, are genuinely
Of
fucking
the sort of
hits.
new 4 that we've had, I would say the best one is
2019's Modern Warfare.
It's probably Modern
really
Warfare is the
good,
best one.
yeah.
Then probably this Modern Warfare. Then probably Vanguard. Then Cold War. I'd say Cold War is probably the weakest of them.
But yeah, like original Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 are both like genuinely good in their own right as
Yeah.
campaigns.
F.
Press
Is
F,
it-
pay respects.
Yeah,
That's not in those though.
but
That's in, I think, Advanced Warfare,
Yeah.
I'm saying. But
you,
that is
you
the
know
origin
where
of
that comes from, don't you?
Press F to pay respects.
Are you not aware of this, Gareth?
No.
Do you want to? Because they take the piss of it in the Spider-Man game as well, don't they?
Yeah, so I think it's Advanced Warfare, I think the game is. And the first scene of the game is a military funeral.
Oh.
And you walk up to like the casket before it goes underground, and just the command comes on the screen, which is press F to pay respects.
Oh my god, shut
So you
up.
have to pay respects.
No way.
Yeah.
That is not what I
And then it gets mocked quite a lot in other games. And
Yeah.
then I think the most recent one is probably the most recent Spider-Man, where you find Uncle Ben's grave and you can press
F.
F.
Press F to pay
And that's.
Oh, it's very good.
I think that might even be I can't remember what the trophy is there. It might be press F, but
Press F
yeah,
to pay
because
respects,
but yeah, that's the month of July.
Yeah.
August is looking to be very exciting.
Yep.
Few things that I'm looking forward to. Spider-Man controller.
Oh,
What-
so
Oh, I love
cool.
sick.
I really want
It
that.
looks really
I want the
good.
plates as well. I showed it to Lauren, and I turned to her, I went, it's now the time to get a second PS5. And for the first time, she cracked a little.
Oh!
But she also said there's a wedding coming up.
No, she also said Steam Deck first, and I went, fair.
Fair enough. That looks good. I'm looking forward to Blasphemous 2, which apparently is going to be more Metroidvania-y, which will be more appealing to you.
I could maybe be more into it then.
Yeah.
I never got on with the first one. I don't know why.
Love the first one. We've also got, what else have we got in August? Armored Core.
Big robot fights. Whoa.
Lies of P's coming out.
Is Lies of P in August?
Pinocchio Born.
Which I'm very excited to be playing. Anything else that's jumping out for you for August?
I don't
Off the top of your head?
know. I should have looked it up before we started, but I don't know what's coming out in August.
I haven't.
I think those are my big sort of 4 things for August that I'm looking forward
And then
to.
we get into like September, October, November, and
October is insane.
Nintendo just start bombing games.
Everyone bombs games in October.
Yeah.
October is going to be hell.
I think it's like 10 releases.
Yeah.
I need a pay raise.
Yeah. just to match the cost of living.
Work.
That'd be lovely. Sorted out, fucking government, so I could buy my games. And I think with that, we'll end the episode.
Cost of living? No. Cost of gaming.
Yeah. So thank you all for coming on for another episode. As always, you can check us out on any streaming site, which is where you're here, but also on YouTube at Discount Pod. The little @ sign, YouTube/@ Discount Pod. And that's all our streams go up there, plus longer versions of these episodes. If you want to check us out on Twitch, we're, again, Discount Pod. And then we're on all socials at Discount Pod. And then there's Discount Josh, Discount Darren, Discount Cerys, all with 2 C's, apart from Cerys, which has a 3rd C for Cerys.
Because it's my name.
Yeah, and that's where the C comes in, not discount. But yeah, do check us out. Any sort of following, any subscriptions to it, just following us on Spotify, on Apple, anything like that.
Yeah.
Any reviews, anything that will help us.
Yeah.
Do tell other people about us. If you don't like us, pretend you do. That makes our lives a lot easier.
That'd be nice.
Or actually, if you don't like us, let us know what you don't like, and then we might go, oh, you're right, that doesn't fucking work. So,
If you don't like us, post like hateful things about us, because then people will find us.
But please don't, because I'll have to deal with all that. But yeah, thank you all for coming on for another episode. Thank you for being a pair of 4, and we'll catch you all next time.
Bye.